I am a big fan of Calvin and Hobbes, so if you get a chance to read that, go ahead. And also, just read any Calvin and Hobbes that you possibly can. It's the greatest comic strip ever made. So we are going to be working with expressions, and I want you to think of x's as apples or y as apples. And it's not 2x plus 3x. Think of it as 2 apples plus 3 apples. So because these are like terms and they can be added together, this would end up being 5 apples or 5 x's. This same thing, if we have 4 apples and we want to take away 8 apples, we're left with negative 4 apples. And down here on the bottom, we have 6y minus 5y. Okay, and one other thing, if you ever have a variable that's by itself, we had a student a couple years ago, Anne, that always put ones in front of them so that she could, it wasn't a 0y, it was a 1y. So if you'd like to do that, that's just fine. But 6y minus 5y is 1y. 1y plus another 1y is going to be 2y. Okay, and there's one thing that I want you to know. If you ever have a problem like this, 2x plus 3y, okay, these are apples and oranges. Okay, they can't be combined. You can't have apple oranges. You would just have 2 apples and 3 oranges. So can't combine these. So it would just stay as 2x plus 3y. Okay? So for the first problem we're looking at, we have 2y plus 4y on the left side. And we can combine those because we have oranges and oranges, or apples and apples. Well, 2y plus 4y will just be 6y. Well, the right side will stay the same as 12. And now we have a problem that we know how to solve. We draw the line down the middle. We divide by 6. And so we get y is equal to 2. And just like the last problems, we can still check our answer by taking that y and putting it back into the original equation. So we get 2 times 2 plus 4 times 2, and that whole thing should be equal to 12. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 plus 8 is equal to 12, so we have checked our answer correctly. Okay? So for this next one, we have 3b's minus 2b's equal to 5. Well, these can be combined into 1b is equal to 5. Now we have a problem we can solve. We divide by 1, so b is equal to 5. We can check our answer. 3 times 5 minus 2 times 5 is equal to 5. Well, that's 15. That's 10. And that is equal to 5, so we are correct. You get a little bit trickier, but it's the same idea. I still like Anne's method. I got x's by themselves over here. I got a y by itself over there. I feel more comfortable. Okay, so now I have 4 x's minus 1 x. That's 3 x's. 3 x's plus 2 more x's will be a total of 5 x's. And that's equal to 10. Now I divide by 5 on both sides. And I get x is equal to 2. I can check my answer by going 4 times 2 minus 1 times 2 plus 2 times 2 is equal to 10. Got some simplifying to do. This is 8 minus 2 plus 4. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. So we're correct. On the right side, we have 3y minus 2y. That's equal to 1y. 1y plus another 1y will be 2y, and that's a negative 8 up there hiding. Now we divide by 2, so we get y is equal to negative 4. To check it, we go 3 times negative 4 minus 2 times negative 4 plus 1 times negative 4. And that should be equal to negative 8. I'm running out of room. Okay, negative 8. Well, 3 times negative 4, that's negative 12. I like to do this as negative 2 times negative 4, which is a positive 8. You could also do it as subtracting a negative 8, which is the same thing. And then minus 4 in the end is equal to negative 8. Well, negative 12 plus 8, that's a negative 4. Negative 4 minus 4 more is negative 8. So we're correct. Okay, so I'm going to do one more here. Now we have some variable stuff and then some regular numbers. Well, the regular numbers are oranges and these are apples, so we can't combine them. I also like to think of it as sixth graders and eighth graders at a middle school dance. You want to keep them separate. So you get 2x minus 4x, that's a negative 2x, and that plus 3 just comes down, and that's equal to 9. So now we're going to solve it just like we have been. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So we get negative 2x equals 6. I'm going to divide by negative 2. So we get x equals negative 3. And check my answer. So I go 2 times negative 3 minus 4 times negative 3 plus 3 equals 9. 2 times negative 3, that's negative 6. Negative 4 times negative 3 is a positive 12. Plus 3 equals 9. Negative 6 plus 12 is 6. 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. So we're good. Over here on the right, we have 3y minus 2y plus 4. Well, these can be combined. This wants to be on its own. So this becomes 1y plus 4 is equal to negative 2. Now I can solve. So that becomes negative 4, negative 4. So 1y equals negative 6. I divide by 1. So y equals positive 6, and then I check my answer. I go 3 times 6 minus 2 times 6 plus 4 equals negative 2. Whoop, I just noticed something. And this is why you check your answer. I noticed my check wasn't working. This should be a negative 6 because I had negative 6 divided by 1. So this becomes negative 18 plus 12, because a negative, plus 4, and another error. Man, I am just way off my game right now. All right, equals negative 2. Negative 18 plus 12 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 4 is a negative 2, so we're good. Hopefully those are my last mistakes. Try these two on your own. So for the first one, I get 6x, 9x equals 18. Divide by 9. X equals 2. This one I get negative 3y equals 9. I divide by negative 3. Y equals negative 3. All right, this one will have an IXL lesson. If you have questions, please ask me.